Denise, Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, Denise, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Hey there, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is September 16th, and I literally just walked right through the doors of my house not too long ago. You guys know, I was over at, WWE Smackdown in Anaheim, and it was a pretty interesting night, that's for sure. I feel like we got quite a bit to talk about here today. Before we get started, I did go live. I was planning to start the stream in 8:20, but I got here like literally 10 minutes sooner than I was expecting to, and I just couldn't wait, so I figured I might as well get started now. So either way, before we get into SmackDown, before I share the live experience with you all, just a quick heads up, guys. I do go live here on F4W Online on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Very happy that I was here the whole entire week because it's been just like nonstop. So much pro wrestling going on, so much pro wrestling to cover. Like I said, I just came back from SmackDown, and right now I'm doing the show, and then immediately after I have to get ready because tomorrow morning I fly out to Texas for Mission Pro Wrestling. So tomorrow I will be in San Antonio doing commentary for Mission Pro. I literally get there like, I don't know, some point during the day. I get there right to the building, go do the show, head back home, take a couple of hours of sleep, come back and fly back to Los Angeles the very next day. You can't keep me from LA very, very fast, very far from getting back. Ken Cruz says, how did you get home so fast? Okay, so if the show was in Anaheim, I do not live far from Anaheim at all. I live like about 25 minutes away from Anaheim, unless there's like a bunch of traffic, then it could be. So I took my little brother to the event today, by the way. So first and foremost, I saw SmackDown today an entirely different than I normally do. Again, so I took my little brother. He's 14 years old. I took him to the show, and he's not a wrestling fan. Like, he's not even a casual wrestling fan. He just knows, like, he's seen maybe 3 wrestling events in his life in person, and I think today was the 3rd one. And then on top of that, he's only seen wrestling like maybe in my house like maybe a handful of times. So he only knows like John Cena. I'm not even sure if he knows Roman Reigns. Somehow he knew the New Day. But anyways, I took him to the show today, and so I had to pick him up where he lives, and then go from his house to Anaheim. So I got to the show late. I was 7 minutes late by the time that I got into the building because I was in the slow ticket line outside of the Honda Center. A lot of people showed up late because it's Los Angeles and there's a shit ton of traffic in this area. Regardless, it took me about like 40 minutes to get from his house to the Honda Center, but on the way out, I left immediately after like the dark match that's just for the crowd, because afterwards they had like Ronda Rousey come out. She did a little something with Natalia, and then afterwards we saw Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory, which was like the most like nothing match ever. And so the second the 3 count hit, I was like, let's go. And we bounced, and I came back here pretty fast. I dropped him off, got here, did it all within like an hour. So I was very happy that I was able to come back and do the show on time. Steven, thank you so much for getting us started with our first super chat of the day. He says, hope you had fun at SmackDown. Like I said, I saw SmackDown in a different light today. I didn't see it the way that I guess you can say I normally see it from a weekly perspective of somebody who's reviewing the show. I saw it more in terms today of, I was trying to see it in my brother's eyes, in the sense of like, I'm just going in and seeing this for the very first time. And I will tell you, I had some mixed reactions, but we'll talk about that because there's plenty to get into. Mookow 1980 sends in a super chat saying, here is $5 to make up for your tragic loss. Rip pretzel. All right. So this is what happened. I had not had dinner because I was waiting to eat dinner at SmackDown today. I bought, get this guys, and you guys can do the math. It was me and my brother. So I bought us 2 pepperoni pizzas, just a slice, 2 Coca-Colas, regular, a pretzel, and a $4 side of cheese. Okay, my total was like $54. So everything was $50, but the cheese was literally exactly $4 just for the cheese. Okay, and I know this because I saw it on the screen, and I remember thinking, "Holy Jesus, I'm about to pay $4 for a little tub of cheese." Well, here's what happened. They took forever to bring me my pretzel, and so finally, I'm walking down the steps, and it's dark in there because it was commercials, and at that point, like, the lights were dimmed all the way down, and so I'm walking, trying to make my way through my seat, going down the stairs, and thankfully, BTW, shout out to WWE, because they did give me really good seats, by the way. They were phenomenal. So I did have to do a lot of walking all the way down. But at some point, the cheese, it just fell, man. That shit exploded everywhere. And turns out that I tweeted about it, and I basically said, like, I messed up. I dropped my $4 cheese. And Ryan Satin, who was also there, ended up finding the cheese and made like a whole video about it. And all you see is a bunch of cheese on the floor. So yeah, I was responsible for that. But shout out to the Honda Center staff who got that cleaned up by the time the show ended. Because by the time I got back up there, the cheese was gone. But yes, rip my $4 cheese, and I had to eat a very, very boring pretzel. Anyways, but thank you so much to MooCow1980 for sending in that super chat. All right, guys, so let's get into this show because there's kind of a bit to talk about. So first and foremost, as I mentioned earlier, I got to the show about 7 minutes late. I didn't get to see like the very beginning with Logan Paul because of what I already said, right? But there's still a lot to talk about in regards to that. So earlier today, Dave Meltzer basically put out that there was going to be like a big announcement. And the big announcement ended up being that it is going to be Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. I think it's November 5th in Saudi Arabia. So as we all know, Logan Paul has recently signed with WWE. And from what I gather from some of the interviews that he did, I think he's going to be doing just a handful of matches. Obviously, he's not going to be on the road, full time. So he's going to be there for select matches and whatnot. We saw him at WrestleMania, SummerSlam, pretty much like the big events and whatnot. So turns out tomorrow they're going to be doing a press conference in Las Vegas, which, by the way, I'm terribly upset that I'm not going to be there. I didn't know this was happening, and I have other obligations, so I'm going to be in Texas. But I was very bummed out when I found out there was going to be a press conference and I wasn't going to be there to shoot it so that I can get some YouTube money. But whatever. So that's happening. And here's the thing. Like, instantly, I thought, okay, I know why they made this match. Okay, I get it. Like, Logan Paul is a big name. Regardless of how people slice it, he's still a big name. He's a mainstream name, etc. And that is why, they're going to go ahead and do Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns. On top of that, it's Crown Jewel. The Crown Jewel pay-per-views, I feel, I don't know, they tend to be seen a little bit differently. And by that, I mean, it's like they almost don't seem, I don't want to say that they don't seem important, because they are important if you're, following the product and you're watching it on a week by week basis and you're keeping up with the storylines. Obviously, it is important on that end, but I still feel like those pay-per-views are seen a little bit differently. Just basically what I gather from people on social media. Like, I don't really feel they're seen in the same light as, some of our other pay-per-views throughout the year. And a lot of that really is because of the stench that comes with doing a show in Saudi Arabia. But what do we know about these Saudi Arabia shows is that they pay a ton of damn money. So when you look at this from the perspective of, okay, well, Logan Paul signed with WWE. He's only doing a handful of matches, whatever. Chances are that, him signing up with the company, joining the company. And this is, to me, like, from an outsider's perspective, from what I gather, this is the big the big payday for him. That's what it is. It's a big payday for him. I don't know what the numbers are or anything like that, but it is very obvious that this is just going to be a big payday, a big like woohoo bonus for joining with WWE. So that is going to be interesting to see. Like, here's the thing about Logan Paul's performances in WWE thus far. He gets a lot of heat, as you guys saw earlier on, not just in other shows that he's come out with, but also today on SmackDown. He's supposed to be a babyface. Like, he wants to be a babyface. He said this in interviews numerous times. The goal is for him to be a babyface, right? But he kind of isn't treated that way with the fans. Like, the fans keep seeing him as a heel. He still comes across as a heel. That's how he was treated today on SmackDown, and that's how he's been treated across numerous times that he's appeared on WWE television. But here's the other thing too: is the thing that I've noticed about Logan Paul is that he kind of, and this may be not a great comparison, but it just popped into my head, so I'm just gonna run with it. So he gets booed, right? Like, the guy gets booed. But the second he does like a cool spot or he has a good moment in a match, all of a sudden the crowd turns. Like, the crowd ends up enjoying him. He's gotten some great crowd reactions in some of his past matches. And it kind of reminds me a little bit about Sami Guevara. Like, obviously two totally different people, but Sami tends to get like a lot of hate. And then he goes out there, has some great moments in his matches, and then gets cheered by the crowd. I almost see Logan Paul kind of getting like those similar reactions where it's like, you know, he gets hated on anytime, but then he's doing like a cool spot and all of a sudden he gets cheered. So I know that he's supposed to be a babyface, but he's definitely still coming across as a heel. I really wish, and I remember when I read this in one of his interviews where Logan Paul said he wants to be a babyface. I'm like, dude, like, own the heel status, because if you can own it, like, you can do so much with that. Personally, I wish he would own it, but hey, it is what it is, right? All right. So he definitely came out. Again, I was not able to watch this portion of SmackDown. Unfortunately, I only caught the latter end when he punched Sami Zayn in the face. But what I gather, though, is that the crowd was not necessarily reacting to him in a babyface manner. In terms of whether or not I'm like hot and ready for this match against Roman Reigns, I feel like it's going to be entertaining. I feel like it's going to be a decent match, like decent by like there's going to be some good moments, right? I really do feel that way. And it's going to get a lot of publicity. Like, look at them doing this press conference in Las Vegas. Like, that's going to get some good publicity. So I feel at the end of the day, it is a win-win situation, a win for WWE to get that mainstream, attention, and then a win for Logan Paul to get that Saudi money payday. So anyways, that's where we're at in regards to that. So I'm curious in terms of what people think about Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Let's see what people are saying. Also, we should have seen this coming. Really, we should have seen this coming. And you want to know why? Because, God damn it, when was it? Like, literally the day before yesterday, I was talking, like, Roman Reigns was on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive or something, and they basically spoke about their match happening, and they basically said, like, yeah, we want this match. Like, Logan Paul was saying, like, I want this match with Roman Reigns. They basically told us on his podcast that this match was going to happen. Story-wise, it doesn't make sense, because it's like, storyline-wise, why is Logan Paul getting a championship matchup against Roman Reigns? Doesn't really make sense. Whatever, but fine, we'll take it. Let's see what people are saying. I love how everybody's so impressed by how fast I got home. I'm proud too, guys. I'm very proud. Let's see what people are saying about this and see what people think about this whole thing. Let's see. This is from Shoeshine, who says, it's very Logan Paul to get signed for a match he has no business being in. I know the people, here's the thing, like, people know he's not going to defeat Roman Reigns. Like, ain't nobody here actually thinks he's going to defeat Roman Reigns. No, oh my God, like, I would probably roll over and of shock if they were to have Logan Paul defeat Roman Reigns, but that's definitely not happening. I would be like, I would literally smash an egg on my head on a live stream if Logan Paul defeated Roman Reigns for the championship. Like, what? That's not happening. Juice Scott says, no matter how many may feel, this is a money match. Yeah, it's gonna get the mainstream attention, and WWE is fully aware of that. Let's see what else we got here. This is from UZL Garcia, who says, the only reason I don't see it is as serious, it's because it's in Crown Jewel. This was my only issue with Logan signing, is that because he's a big name, they have to use him with a top fighter. And that's the reason, that's kind of what I alluded to earlier as well, that people, see Crown Jewel a lot differently than they do some of the other shows. So this could be like, whatever, it's Crown Jewel. But personally, like, the Crown Jewel shows there have been some pretty good moments on those Crown Jewel shows. They've been shaping up. I feel like earlier when they first started doing these shows in Saudi Arabia, I felt like these could be shows that you could miss and not really have to worry about. But now I do kind of feel like if you're following the product and you're trying to keep up with everything, I do kind of feel like the Crown Jewel shows are now shows to watch. But it really just depends on what the card is looking like. But I get why they're doing this, for that match. All right, let's go ahead and get some more thoughts in here. We actually got a super chat from 554K. Thank you so much for sending this in. Says, hey, hope you've been doing well, and a bit off topic, but if I ever become a content creator and need top tier tweets, I will ask you for your advice, for real. Thank you. I appreciate that people are recognizing my Twitter content, because, Twitter is so important to like grow as a content creator. And, I've managed to use Twitter to promote a lot of my live streams and a lot of my podcasts and whatnot. So I feel like I'm very happy that people are responding to the content that I'm putting out there for Twitter, especially because it's hard, guys. It's hard trying to come up with something original and funny, and at the same time, making sure that you're like, doing the show justice and whatnot. So yeah, I'm very happy that people are responding and reacting to the stuff that I'm posting on there. Thank you so much to 554K. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is from Steven, who says, there is no good storyline with this, kind of a misstep, one of the few WWE has had lately. This is all just for like mainstream attention and value, but if you're watching the stories, it doesn't make sense. Will McLean says he hopes Roman Reigns squashes him. I feel like they have to give him, here's the thing, like, I wouldn't say that they should do a squash. I'm not expecting like a 20-minute match by any means or something like that, but I do, for the sake of Logan Paul and for the sake of, I don't know, like, here's the thing. They can't fuck up this match with him and Roman Reigns. Like this, they can't fuck it up. And by that, I mean, they have to have him go out there and sort of win over the crowd. We've seen him do it before. The crowd has gone in behind Logan Paul before. They need to go out there and have him win over the crowd as much as possible. Granted, it's Saudi Arabia, so it's not going to be like, it's going to be a different crowd reaction, so never mind. But maybe win over the audience that's watching at home, so that you could basically like just see Logan Paul with a little bit more respect. Because that's the thing, like Logan Paul, every time he goes out there, he's going to have to like kind of earn the respect from the fans, because everybody knows he's just there because he's a celebrity, right? But he's also a good athlete, though. That's the thing. Like Logan Paul is a good athlete. So that's why he's able to have like these pretty good moments. So the reason why I'm saying like they can't fuck this up is because this is like the biggest match he's ever had against Roman Reigns. So this match needs to go well, because if not, afterwards, whenever they try to promote any other match, people are not going to care, and you don't want people to not care about this person that you've made an investment in. Regardless of how people feel about Logan Paul, they made an investment in him, and so we're going to see how it turns out. But yeah, it doesn't make sense storyline-wise. It only makes sense in terms of, okay, they're doing this big show at Crown Jewel. He's going to get a good payday for him. That's it. And obviously the mainstream attention from media and whatnot. All right, let's go ahead and see what else people are saying. This is from Leonard Aarons, who said, the absolute worst thing you can do or should ever feel about a main event title match is the challenger has no business being there, and there's no way, no how they're winning what this is. And we got September, October. They got a bit of time to like really make this mean a little bit more. Like it's got to mean, I really feel this match isn't for this match to me is more of a spectacle versus it being something along the lines of like the diehard wrestling fans that are like, yeah, we really need to see this match. Not really. Like, this match is not for that viewer. This match is for the casual viewers. This match is for them. It's not for us, guys. It's not for us. Like, that's the way that I'm seeing this. Let's see what else we got. This is from Brian, who says, how about Logan shocks the world and takes the strap? WrestleMania 39, Dwayne Johnson, Logan Paul money. Dude, I would be shocked if they don't have Logan Paul at WrestleMania 39, because if they're going to have, like, here's the thing, and I know no one wants to hear this, but if they're going to have an influencer heavy event, a celebrity filled event, WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood is the place to do it, because that's going to be the easiest. You have any idea how many goddamn influencers and celebrities there are out here? They can get anybody to be on the show, well, not anybody, but you get me. They can get a whole lot of people. If they want to do a whole goddamn TikTok battle royal, I'm not suggesting they do it, but they can definitely get people to do a whole TikTok battle royal. Oh my God, can you imagine like the amount of like people would hate that? I would hate that. I don't even know why I put that in the universe. I'm taking it back, man. Forget I put that out in the universe, but I'm just trying to get the point across that that is going to be the biggest heavy celebrity type of event that they can do, especially given the location. And especially given how long it's been since WrestleMania has even been here. Ken Cruz says, funny how people are mad, but I bet they're going to watch. Like I said, it's going to be a spectacle. I know I'm going to watch. Let's see what else we got. We got people putting over Bad Bunny. I actually really enjoyed Bad Bunny when we saw him perform. So I'm not even going to lie and tell you that, that I don't want to see Bad Bunny, because I do kind of want to see Bad Bunny. Also, thank you, because I just remembered that because we got Clyde, who's in the chat here. Clyde sent in this super chat on Wednesday's show, and I didn't get to read it, so I'm gonna pull it up really quickly, guys. For today's show, Clyde basically sent in a really nice super chat on Wednesday, saying, just dropping another super chat to say you are awesome and the undefeated meme queen, you rock. Clyde, thank you so much for sending this in, and I'm really sorry that I didn't get to read it on the last stream. All right, but now let's go ahead and continue on, because there's still so much more to talk about. Before we do, I will pull up this comment from Champagne Supernova, who says, I came in late. Logan Paul has a well-earned public heel reputation. He is athletically gifted enough that true fans will appreciate that in a match regardless. He'll never have ethical issues with Saudi. No, but this is true, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he goes out there and he has a good match and he has good moments, the people will react to that, because we've already seen that before. Oh, God. Reductive 92 says the D'Amelio sisters for women's tag team champs. Oh, God. Bless their hearts. They've never done anything to me, but that would just be a disaster. Melissa Cabello says Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul. Look, I'm just going to say this. Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul would get a shit ton of media attention. Like, I'm not just talking like mainstream sports media. I'm talking like also throw in like, your E-News, your all of those, all of the major Billboard, Rolling Stone, all of your major pop culture websites would be covering this. This would hit both worlds, the sports and the music world and whatnot. Oh God, I really should not have put out the TikTok battle royal out there. Oof. All right, let's move on from here. Let's get into what else we saw on today's show. So, the show did open up, like I mentioned, the Logan Paul stuff that went down that I missed, and also the Ricochet Sami Zayn match. I only got to see a portion of this. This was when I was purchasing my food. So I'm going to go ahead and just say really quickly that I was so happy to see the response that Sami Zayn got, not just because he is a great talent, a great comedic talent, a great wrestler, etc., but also because he has a huge amount of history with Southern California. And by that, obviously, you guys know his PWG days, and very, very known here for that in Southern California. So obviously, it was very nice to see him get that respect that he deserves, and he got a very, very nice, reaction. All right, let's get into the Maximum Males Models Braun Strowman segment. So we have freaking God. Eli Drake, no, Max Dupree. He's had so many names at this point. I'm like, which one is it? LA Knight, Max Dupree, what's the other one? I just said it right now. Eli Drake. I feel at this point I don't even know what he's called anymore. But Max Dupree, he's out there with Maxine, and bless their hearts for doing this, because they were out there doing their whole little skit, and then they announced that Mansoor and Mansoor, whatever the frick they're calling them, the Maximum Male Models, are going to be showcasing their back to school fashion show. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, oh my God, I drove an hour to Anaheim so that I could watch the Maximum Male goddamn Models do a 5-minute modeling thing for back to school fashion. I would rather sit here and watch an Old Navy commercial promoting their goddamn school clothes for 20 minutes on a loop than watch the Maximum Male Models model the freaking clothes. And so I'm sitting there thinking, my God, this has got to be a rib on me. I was literally thinking that. And then, bless their hearts, I was so happy. I can't even tell you how happy I was about this, because this is what's even worse. Based on where I was sitting, I couldn't even see the full thing. I could only see like a little bit of their heads, and I couldn't see the screen because the truss was blocking that. So I couldn't see anything, right? I could barely see what was happening, okay? So I was pissed. I was just sitting there eating my food all angry, whatever. And then out of nowhere, Braun Strowman's music hits, and he comes out, and all I see is Braun Strowman's head, and all I see is a giant fist coming and taking out the Maximum Male Models. And I will tell you, I don't think Braun Strowman has ever gotten a bigger pop from me in his life. I was so happy. I thought, thank God, I'm not going to sit here and watch 5 minutes of no back to school fashion modeling right now. So anyway, so Braun Strowman came out, he took them out and basically beat the crap out of them. And here's the thing, Braun Strowman got a great reaction from the crowd. He was very good at getting everybody like pumped up, hyped up. I know that Braun is a controversial person, I guess you could say, in the wrestling world. But he did get some great reactions. And you know what? I was happy today just because he took out the Maximum Male Models, all right? But this was fun. But then afterwards, we ended up seeing Otis. This was my favorite part of the entire night, everybody. Otis actually ran right past me. And when I say run, I really wish I would have known he was going to come through there, because seeing Otis run is now my favorite thing on the goddamn planet, all right? The man is hilarious. And because he's a very bulky kind of guy, he runs very, very funny. I can't even describe to you what Otis running looks like, but it was phenomenal. I loved it. He goes out there and, he does his thing with Braun Strowman. They go at it for a bit afterwards, and and Otis hits the world's strongest slam. I mean, this was a lot of fun to kind of just see them interact and whatnot. So that was great. I love this. This is a lot of fun. And I just love seeing like Otis going out there and essentially, returning the favor to Braun Strowman from the week prior. This was good stuff, guys. Really, really good stuff. This is from Eddie, who says Otis power slam Braun Strowman is impressive. Yeah, it was. It really, really was. Good stuff. All right. So let's see what else we got. Let me make sure I got the most good stuff here. Christopher S says breaking WWE plans revealed elaborate plan to rib Denise Salcedo is underway. Dude, for reals, man. I was so all right, let's go ahead and continue on from this. Kyle Put says, I'm all for an Otis Braun Strowman feud. Dude, that was fun, and it got the people reacting. It really did. I'm completely here for this. All right. I did not know that they showed JoJo Siwa at ringside. I didn't see her. Damn it. I didn't see JoJo Siwa. Oh shit, I'm depressed. I didn't see her. I like JoJo. She's a very nice girl. But I do want to say this though. I did get to see X-Pac. I saw him at ringside. They did like a whole during the commercial breaks, they do like fan stuff, right? And they did the DX fan cam where they showed people and they would do the crotch chops. And there was Oh, it was phenomenal. There was this little boy, he was so cute. And he was just like going crazy, right? But then there was a dad who was just like, you can tell he was like reliving his heydays and just like going freaking nuts doing the crotch chop. It was great. I really love that. I hadn't been to like a Raw or a SmackDown, guys, in years. So this to me was like, it felt brand new again. It also felt so weird that the show was only 2 hours. I felt like it was just so strange. I'm so used to being at these pay-per-views like the whole damn day. It felt so strange just to be there for a 2-hour show. Crazy. Now D sends in a super chat saying, Denise, I think you're titillated by the MMM and are in denial. I hate that word too. Titillated, whatever the hell it's supposed to be. Titillated. I hate that word. I really, really hate that word. And I hate it because of the maximum male models. And I was watching The Office the other day, and I think it was Angela or somebody who brought up that word. And I was so pissed because the second I heard it, immediately the maximum male models just like popped into my head. Nell D, thank you so much for the super chat. All right, guys. After this, we had Damage Control coming out. They came out, got a decent reception. I love that even during the commercial break, Bayley still going at it with Michael Cole. Even during the commercial break, that was really fun. We ended up seeing Bayley versus Raquel Rodriguez, and this was a fun match. Like, this was literally, here's the thing. I feel this match was more, I think I liked this match more in person than if I would have watched it on TV. And the reason for that is Raquel Rodriguez, her, like, anytime that they show how like strong and powerful she is and any of the power moves that she has, the crowd reacts very well to it, like extremely well to it. For example, like I mentioned, my brother was there and he doesn't know, the greatness of Bayley. He doesn't know that, Bayley's more established. He doesn't know any of that, right? All he saw was Raquel Rodriguez. Holy shit, she's freaking strong. And he was so impressed by that. He just kept looking at me and he was like, oh my God, she's so strong, right? And looking at this from like that perspective, like Raquel is, she stood out a lot more than Bayley in this match, literally just because I was seeing it from a different perspective, right? Not seeing it from the normal perspective that I normally do. And I love this. Bayley was out there, doing the heel work, having Dakota and Io, basically butt in whenever they could. And she did her thing, but they did a good job of making Raquel look dominant and forceful. And you wanted to cheer for Raquel. Like, they did a really good job of making you want to cheer for her. So when Bayley ended up getting the win, obviously we all knew she was, but it was still a pretty good match. I really liked it. I thought it was probably one of my favorite more recent women's matches on SmackDown. They gave it a good amount of time. Raquel looked great. Bayley, did her part as the heel. It was all perfectly fine. This was fun. I really liked this. Afterwards, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about this. There was one more thing I wanted to say about Bayley and Raquel, and I don't remember anymore now. But let's go ahead and move on from here, guys. I didn't take any notes on this show, so I'm literally just following along with the timeline of what the hell actually happened here. All right, so let's go ahead and see what else we got here. Let's get into the Ronda Rousey backstage interview. So Ronda basically goes out there and she has a really quick interview with Kayla Braxton, and this basically leads to a little confrontation between her and Liv Morgan. And Liv just basically interrupts Ronda Rousey and basically reminds her that, she's beating her twice. And the only way for her to get respect from Ronda Rousey is to beat her a third time. And Liv Morgan proposes to Ronda Rousey that they have an Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules. And so she accepts, and now that is going to be an Extreme Rules match. And I'm glad that they're doing this because, like I mentioned, when this match was first made last week, a lot of people were not really so thrilled on wanting to see Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan again, mainly because their SummerSlam match was not that great. And I really feel like they needed to add a little extra something just to get people's, interest in this. And this is now their second time meeting. It's at Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Why the hell not? So I'm glad that they added the Extreme Rules stipulation to this match. It's going to give so much more to this. Alrighty. After this, we end up seeing Drew McIntyre basically going up on the commentary table and basically just saying that he is going to get his revenge on Karrion Kross, etc. All good stuff there, guys. Let's see what else we got here. This is from the Coyote who says Liv will tap out in this match, or maybe even possible a heel turn. I don't know. I just know that they need to really they need to do something there for Liv. For Liv to get the win here over Ronda Rousey, they need to do it in a really strong way where it really just makes her look more credible as a champion, because right now it still almost feels like an accessory for Liv Morgan. So we'll see what they do there as well. All right, so let's go ahead and more people pointing out that Liv Morgan acted like a heel in this segment. Maybe it's just the deadpan look. Liv Morgan has a really good deadpan look, like she's very pissed. She's really good at that look. All right. Let's see what else we got here. We got Ken Cruz asking, should Liv start a faction? It would be good. Like, I want to see more of this dominant side of Liv Morgan. Because I think like we said, like the happy-go-lucky, I made it, I'm here as a champion isn't really working. I mean, it's fine. Like, people are still cheering for Liv Morgan because she's likable, but there's got to be something a little bit more there for Liv Morgan, give the people a little bit more. I wouldn't hate a faction, especially since there's starting to be quite a few in WWE, especially for the women there. It's starting to work there. All right, let's go ahead and see what else we got here. Let me go ahead and move on to our next match, and this was the NXT North American Championship between Solo Sakoa, who recently won the title on NXT, and he was defending it against Madcap Moss. This was like, okay, I'm trying to remember, like, here's the thing. The crowd is reacting in people are reacting to Solo Sakoa, okay? That was one of the things that I did notice here today. Like, to be honest, I don't really see it. Like, I'll just be real with you. I don't really see it, mainly because I just seen the stuff from NXT, and I'm just not it's not anything that I've never not seen before. So I feel like I just need a little bit more to really get invested into Solo Sakoa, but it's definitely working for a lot of the other people because he did get a lot of really great reactions today. And like anytime he had any sort of dominance, the people did respond to Solo Sakoa. And I will say this, they are starting to really present him as somebody, they're doing a good job of the way that they're presenting him. They're presenting him as somebody that you're like, you should be aware of who this guy is. You should be aware of Solo Sakoa. Like, he's going to be a new presence here, So they're doing a good job of, the way that they're portraying him has been pretty well so far, I guess. I just the match itself, it was all right. Like I said, I didn't really think it was anything special, nothing to be super over the moon about. We did end up seeing Moss hit a fall away slam, but Zayn ends up pulling out of that. And we do end up seeing Solo Sakoa actually get the win at the end, which was expected. He just won the title, so I don't think anybody was expecting the titles to change hands there at all. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got some people saying, they liked this match, that it was fine. Clyde says Sami was also being a good hype man ringside. He did a great job. He added a little bit more excitement to it, I would say. Just a little bit more, obviously. And let's see what else we got here. This is from Eddie, who says Sami Zayn is gold in the bloodline. Unfortunately, the Usos will turn on Sami, lead to Sami and Kevin versus the Usos. And we're all waiting for that at this point. We're all waiting for that moment to happen. This is from Champagne Supernova, who says, I think Solo is made as far as the NXT bloodline is concerned. Now he just needs a few career-making matches and needs a main event in my mind. Yeah, he needs that moment, that match that's really going to level him up, because right now, he's there because of the bloodline, right? We know that. And so for some people, that's enough. That's perfectly fine, and that's enough. But then there's me. That's not enough for me. I need to be a little bit more entertained. Anyways, let's see what else we got here. We got Kyle Put, who says the crowd is going to go wild when Sami finally turns face. The build is very well done so far. Yeah, they're doing a good job. Everything that's been going on with Sami Zayn and the bloodline has truly been ace. It's been good stuff. All right. And then we got the main event match, guys. And this was really when I'll be real with you guys, when I was there at SmackDown today, and I was thinking of the show as a whole, I was a little bit disappointed because I didn't really feel like I mentioned, I didn't really feel, and this is prior to the main event, okay? I didn't really feel like there was enough hard-hitting action that would basically turn somebody into a wrestling fan, okay? I was like watching my brother and his reactions and seeing like if and when he would react to certain things. Cause I'm like, okay, like whatever he reacts to, you know, that's what, you know, the casual viewer is going to react to, you know, for the most part. And he didn't really react to the solo Sakoa match. Like there was some cool moments. Okay, fine. But I was thinking like, man, I was a little disappointed up until the show, up until the main event. I was thinking, damn, whatever chances I had of like making my brother into a wrestling fan, shit's probably out the door because this show hasn't been like too noteworthy, right? Like Roman Reigns isn't here. He hasn't seen really any of the big stars. They announced Roman Reigns for next week, and I'm thinking, my God, next week? You're in freaking Anaheim. Like we should be seeing Roman Reigns, whatever, right? Whatever. So I was just sitting there and I was a little disappointed because I just didn't really feel like the show was that memorable, right? Like aside from the Logan Paul stuff, because he knows who Logan Paul is, there wasn't really anything that I thought made the show memorable. And so I was sitting there, quite frankly, a little disappointed. I thought, fuck, if I want my brother to be a wrestling fan, there really isn't anything here that I would be like, oh, if he saw that, he cannot not be a wrestling fan, right? Well, then we got this main event, and thank God for this main event because this main event made the entire show worth going, okay? If it wasn't for this main event, I would have seriously gone home just a little bit disappointed. We had the number one contenders, fatal four-way match, the Brawling Brutes, who ended up getting the win, but it was against a Hit Row, Imperium, and the New Day. This match was a lot of fun. This was exactly what it needed to be. And frick, I'm just gonna start putting over people because there was some really great stuff during this. So in terms of like Hit Row, for the most part, I didn't really they didn't really do that much in this match. Like they were kind of just there, but Top Dollar did have two good moments during this. And that was obviously, I forgot who he tossed over the top rope, but he had that spot. He had another spot where he basically was just like there to, basically be like a trampoline for, I think it was Kofi Kingston. And then there was another spot where he ended up lifting three guys and basically just slamming them down. And that got a really good reaction from the crowd. So aside from that, there wasn't really like much else there. But the people that I do want to freaking give credit to, because damn, they were freaking awesome during this. And I'm going to start off with Imperium. Imperium, they're so freaking great, man, especially live. It's seeing like the entire because, obviously when you're watching on TV, you're just watching whatever the camera is putting it on. But just like seeing the entire scope of everything, Imperium, man, they were freaking like working. They were just going out there and like anytime they were like inflicting any sort of violence, it was great. I did feel bad because I hyped up Gunther to my brother and I was like, oh my God, Gunther this, Gunther that. And then I realized I'm like, well, Gunther's not in this match, so I maybe shouldn't have hyped him up this much. So I will say this, I was waiting for like a Gunther moment with like Sheamus on the outside. I did feel a little robbed that we didn't get that like live moment. But aside from that, whatever. But the persons that I really do want to give some extra shout outs because they were the highlights of this match. And that's aside from like, the New Day going out there and hitting all of their spots that they normally do. They really are the ones that get the crowd popping. The New Day got the loudest pop of the entire night. The New Day got the best reaction, hands down. They felt like they felt like the biggest stars there. Now, in terms of the Brawling Brutes, Ridge Holland, the moment when he was able to like do when he was lifting up freaking Top Dollar, that was such a freaking awesome spot. Oh, I love that. That got a really great reaction from people. But the single person that stood out to me the most in this match was Butch, Pete Dunne. It was Butch, man. He was the one that was freaking going from one side of the ring to the other, back to the other, freaking drop kick here, smashing someone's fingers here, stomping one person here. Seeing this guy work like just like in person and seeing him do everything that he did in this match. When you have so many guys in a match, you only see certain guys just do like a little bit here and there, right? No, Butch was like literally the one that was like connecting everybody to one another in this match. Like he was really the standout. He was the one that I feel really just made this match feel extra special. And even for my brother, the one moment that he really, really marked out for was when Butch was bending the fingers. I forgot whose fingers he was bending. Might have been one of the Imperium guys. And when he did the stomp after that, that was his biggest mark out moment of the night. He literally just turned to me and was like, holy shit, right? And for me, it was like no big deal. I've seen it a bunch of times, so I didn't really react or anything like that. But for him to just like to get that reaction, I thought was really, really cool, because I thought he would have that reaction more so towards like the New Day where they're doing all of those big spots. And while he did have those reactions, it was that moment with Butch that really, I think, sent him over the moon, really. But this match was freaking awesome. It was a banger. Really enjoyed it. And this was the match that I felt was worth going to SmackDown tonight. This was, they need more of this, man. For the live shows, they need more of this, because it is just so different being there and like wanting to see more of these high spot moments. And this match definitely brought it. So anyways, a big fan of this. I don't think I could put over this match enough. This one made the whole night worth it, guys. Really, really it did. All right, let's see what people are saying here. This is from Eddie, who says, sorry, guys. Also, I'm realizing that my voice is going away and I could hear it leaving as I'm talking. Eddie says the Imperium will cost the Brawling Brutes next week match against the Usos. The Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes tornado in a 6-man tag match. I don't care. I want to see more of all of these guys together. Like, I'm so freaking stoked about. This is the first time that I actually feel in recent memory that I feel ecstatic about the SmackDown tag team division, because prior to this, it was literally just Viking Raiders, Street Profits, and Humberto and Angel Garza. And that was literally it. Like, that was your SmackDown tag team division. But they've added so much just with Imperium and also the Brawling Brutes. Like, the Brawling Brutes, like, I always felt like they had like that potential, but it almost just didn't feel like they were in anything that was super important. And now, ever since they started mixing it in there with Imperium, I really starting to feel like it's just elevated. It's now one of my favorite things on the show versus being one of my least favorite things on the show. Like, prior, the tag team division on SmackDown was my least favorite thing to see on the show. Now it is the show. Ever since Gunther versus Sheamus, ever since that match at Clash at the Castle, the focus is really there with Imperium and the Brawling Brutes. Like, they are SmackDown to me right now. All right, we got a super chat here from Sam Fines, who says, for the cheese. Thank you so much to Sam Fines. I love it. I love how everybody's sending me for the cheese super chats. Thank you very much. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is from Matt Hensley, who says, I just put all the Imperium matches directly into my veins. Completely agree here, really. Let's see what else we got. Beyond B Tripping, who says that solo Sami moment, though, putting that spot over earlier in the night. And let's see what else we got. Let's see some more comments. We got people putting over Butch, putting over Imperium for being a well-oiled machine. Completely agree. All right, guys. Well, there you go. That was SmackDown. That was my live experience of SmackDown. Next week, Roman Reigns returns. Curse you, Roman. You should have been here. You should have been here in Anaheim. What's worse is that I didn't realize Roman wasn't going to be on today's show. And I felt really bad because I told my brother, I'm like, oh yeah, Roman Reigns is going to be there. And then I felt really stupid when he wasn't. And I was like, ooh, my bad. Roman Reigns ain't going to be here. Sorry, bud. And Braun Strowman's going to go one-on-one with Otis. That should be interesting. I don't even know what to make of that one. But that one's going to be two beefy dudes. That one should be pretty fun, actually. And then the Usos against the Brawling Brutes, and that one should be a hard-hitting match, hopefully. I think so. I think it'll be pretty good. So it's looking like a good lineup for next week's SmackDown. I don't know where they're at next week. I didn't pay attention to that. But I'm a little jealous because they got some good stuff lined up for that show. Alrighty, guys, that is it for me for today. I'm going to wrap it up. I got to get ready and fly out tomorrow to San Antonio for Mission Pro Wrestling. And then I will be back by Sunday, and I'll be back on my channel for After the Week on Sunday. But guys, before I go, please do not forget to subscribe to F4W Online. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers, literally almost there. And then next week, I will be back for my weekly shows. We got a taped NXT 2.0, so that was going to be interesting. See what that's like. And then Wednesday, obviously, we'll be here for AEW Dynamite. And then Friday, I believe I have GCW on Friday, so I'll keep you guys posted on all of that. But other than that, thank you guys so much. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you, everybody. Take care.